Y'all want to ride down the mountain with me from Cloudcroft, New Mexico to Alamogordo on a Monday morning about 8:45 a.m. Temperature 65 degrees here, and it'll really change. It's a 16-mile drive, but it takes about 30 minutes. So we'll just do it and y'all enjoy. I didn't put the towel on the dash, so but I think that the majority of this will be out of the direct sunlight. Slow down, Rusty. Cloudcroft, New Mexico on a sleepy Monday morning. Not much going on right now. Saw that sign there. It says back to school celebration. Well, that's right. Coming up in August, most schools in the United States go back to work. Gasoline's gone up 30 cents a gallon here in a week from $3.39 to $3.69. But I'm in an all-electric vehicle, not too worried about that. This is a really pretty drive to me. You know, I tell you, I just have to pinch myself sometimes because this has turned out so far, I don't mean to jinx it or anything like that, but so far, my little place near Cloudcroft has turned out to be a 10. I mean, it's really nice. We'll turn out of the sun right up here. Yeah, and as far as 3 home bases, I don't know, man. But I don't have much invested in any of them. I mean, if you put all 3 of them together, it would be half the price of a sticks and bricks home. I mean, an average one in Texas, or a third. But they work for the RV way of life for sure. I got a long list to get stuff for my RV so that I can just drive back and forth from Cloudcroft to Capitan as I choose. But I don't know that I'll be going over there just to spend a few nights. I may try that in the next week or so and just see how that works out. Because, you do have to take some refrigerator stuff, bath stuff and all that, little stuff that you don't really need to duplicate, but you need to have it when you wake up in the morning, so to speak. And my special breakfast: oatmeal, chia seeds, flax seed powder, blueberries, whatever else I can find. I mean, I could go out and eat one day or two. We'll see. We started off with about 283 miles of range, and we'll finish up with probably 330 going down the mountain because the regenerative braking adds a lot of power. It's quicker than a 220 Charger. I mean, I can't believe I'm here, man. I mean, it's such a fluke that I just happened to drive over here and found me a spot for a price I could afford. A good spot, actually, as it turns out. I'm at, what do they call it, RV Camper Village? No, Chalet Camper Village, near Cloudcroft. Yeah, we got 14 miles, but you can only average about 40 miles an hour or so. Speed limit varies from 30 to 45 miles an hour until you get almost to the end, and then it goes up to 55. But it's such a pretty drive, man. And the vegetation changes from a heavily forested forest to a desert in 15 miles. I just think how convenient it is for those people that live in Alamogordo that are retired. If they have a place in Cloudcroft, just drive up there in the summer and back down in the fall. I thought about getting a tiny home over in Alamogordo, but I really don't want to do that. Even though you buy the tiny home in Alamogordo for like 80,000 plus or minus, and then you pay rent of $380 a month, lot rent, and then you pay, of course, your electricity, and you also have to pay property taxes, personal property taxes in New Mexico. So it would be total outgo $500 a month. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't need it. I got a place in Capitan in Texas, my God. Who do I think I am? I mean, I'm going the speed limit, and there's got to be, whenever there's a passing zone, you're going to see about 90 cars come around me. But these are people that probably work in Alamogordo, and they're just so used to this drive down the mountain. They're not even looking at the beauty. They're just trying to speed down the mountain to get to work on time. And naturally, they leave at the last minute. You know what I mean? Not everyone, but there's a lot. I used to tell people that work with me, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. Now at meetings, if I had a meeting and I sent out an agenda for them to review and be prepared to comment on, if the meeting started at 8 a.m., I locked the door at 8 a.m. and made a note of who wasn't there. And they better have a damn good excuse. No, that old dragging ass in hung over, they didn't cut it with me. Even though I probably drug in hung over sometimes, but I was there. Yeah, the reason that Elon Musk has been so successful in his endeavors is a few. One is he attracts the best candidates. Why? Because if they get to go to work with him, he pays them in stock. Some of their pay is in stock. And then if that company goes public, they all become millionaires overnight. Has he made a few millionaires along the way? Hundreds. But he's made himself a billionaire, you know what I mean? A multi-billionaire. And that's the way to do it, man. To get good people, you got to give them incentives that will attract them. Google does the same thing. So does Microsoft. If they want a candidate, they buy them. There's a hostel there to the right. I rarely see many cars there. They ought to start passing me pretty soon. I mean, it's an 6 or 8 degree drop for 16 miles. May not seem like much, But if you're pulling an RV or driving a truck or whatever, you're where my ears popping again. Temperature is up to 73 now. This little town here, I'm trying to think, is this High Rose? I'm not sure. But it's the same elevation as Capitan, so that tells me what the temperature is in Capitan right now. It's about 8 degrees warmer there in the mornings and afternoons than here. Oh, this is called Mountain Park, 6,750 feet, and Capitan is 6,600 feet different. Well, a few of the cars have disappeared behind me. I guess they were just going a little way. I'm told that every morning somebody drives, some entity drives this road looking for boulders in the road and other obstructions, trees maybe. There's one brave soul. I mean, I'm going 48 and 45, and they're passing me. I mean, I say that in every video. It doesn't mean crap. You know, it's just the way it is. We are all individuals struggling to enjoy our life. Pretty good grade for the next 7 miles. That'll just about put us home. Well, the halfway point is the tunnel, pretty close. We haven't got to the tunnel yet, I don't think. Here we are. We're coming up on the tunnel now. You know, I don't know if you've ever watched it or heard of it even. They have a Pikes Peak road race where cars race up and down that mountain. And folks, if you have ever driven up Pikes Peak, which I have a couple of times, you would not want to race a car up and down it, I guarantee you that. 14,000 feet and curves everywhere. What's that got to do with the price of turnips, Siberia? Nothing. Beautiful view here. You may not be able to see it for a while, but off in the very background is White Sands National Park. I think it's a national park. It was a national monument. Now I believe it's a national park. What the difference is, I don't have a clue. I think the best time to leave to come down the mountain would be about 9 o'clock, 9:15. You'd avoid most of the traffic, I think. Well, most of the traffic on this road is behind me right now. I'm telling the truth. We're at 329 miles of range right now. And the resistive braking works so perfectly coming down a mountain like this because you don't have to use your brakes at all. You just let off a little bit it charges and you slow down. I'm glad I got my electric car when I did. I've had this Chevy Bolt 2LT for a full year, nearly. Well, in August, it'll be a third week of August will be a full year. Got 11,281 miles on it. Would I buy another electric vehicle? Without a doubt. Best car I've ever had. Quietest, comfortable riding for driving trips. Charge it at home. I haven't been to a gas station to buy gasoline in a car in ages. Well, a year. And with the incentives there, the tax incentives, and they're going to improve on those January the 1st, you're going to see electric vehicle sales increase a lot. We'll let this go till I get to the bottom of the mountain here, and you see how the topography's changed. Now this is all desert looking, desert mountains. I gained all these miles coming down the mountain, but going back up, it takes 110 miles of range to go 16 miles up the mountain. So you give it all back. Yeah, so you have to learn those things about electric vehicles, because range is what it's similar to a gas vehicle. The EPA ratings are 38 miles a gallon or whatever, and you get 30 or 45. It depends on your driving characteristics. And so, yeah, it's the same way with electric cars. Only there's more variables. You've got, temperature can make a difference. Of course, up and down mountains makes a difference. So you just have to learn it. But now that I've kind of gotten it down, which is why I did this in advance of a lot of people, was because I would be aware of what's coming up and know what I need. And I'll make another change here in about a year. But I'm going to buy the EV here in New Mexico because Texas is going to charge a $400 fee when you purchase one, plus an additional $200 a year to renew your license. And New Mexico they're not doing anything so far. Will they? More than likely. But if it's worse than Texas, I'll go back and register my car in Texas. Not a problem. Pretty drive. We come around this curve and you'll be able to see that white line in the background. That'll be White Sands National Park or Monument, and that is gypsum. But having said that, guys, I'm going to end the video. The temperature now is 83. We've gone up 20 degrees in 16 miles. And the range is 350 miles now. We've picked up 60 or 70 miles of range. Yeah, but anyway, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want, anytime. But if you think about it, use the Amazon link, drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, take deep breaths, stand guard at the door of your mind. Most important. Enjoy your life. Adios. From now, Alamogordo, New Mexico.